shots, all the moves, they're not hard to find. Strong arm tactics so loud, only themselves in mind. Every player has dreams of making Orca fame. They'll live on in the minds of those who get in their way. Orcas all say, don't come for me. Mid-nerd boots, they're so vain. As we set up the podcast webcam, the pod is here to talk Orca game. Orca King CK with delusions of fame. In this LRG world, he's the apex predator. Dani and Jules in tow, always ready to go. Now it's time for the show. They're the apex predators.
Hello and welcome to the Orca Pod, the apex predators of Australian Survivor LRG podcasting. Here we are talking about Canberra Survivor Season 4, Episode 4. We're going to get into all the action, all the fun. I know some of you have been waiting for our show. Normally it's a Wednesday night. I apologize for the delay. I've been out of town, traveling around Australia in a caravan, as those that tuned into Sydney, the Sydney podcast on Monday may have realized. But we are here. I know there's a Canberra tomorrow. It's so strange. We're podcasting tonight and the new episode is tomorrow, but we're talking about last week's episode. And joining me, as always, are my partners in crime. Let's first welcome the almost Orca of Uncharted Waters, tied with Greg for second. Bring her in.
You have to bring that up every time that I almost won.
It's your claim to fame.
But still, can you just, I don't know. Let's forget about the Orca Award. Does it even matter?
Yes. It's the most important award in the history of awards. When should I stop doing the bit? The bit's funny.
Yeah, all right. You can stop doing it now, and then when we get Greg on the podcast for something, you can bring it back for that.
Greg's keen. He messaged me the other day. Okay, honestly, if you're not available one week, yours is just swap him in. It's the same difference.
Just sub us out.
Both runner-up orcas. And talking about orcas, we are now here. Now, Dani will be joining us shortly. Why don't we jump in and talk a bit about the Battle Back Challenge before we get into the balance of the episode? What do you think of karaoke host Ben's inability, and this makes sense because he's a karaoke host, to keep his mouth shut during the challenge? Personally, Was anyone
surprised?
No, and I actually feel it's the best commentary we've seen for any LRG challenge ever. None of these hosts are particularly great at the challenge commentary, and I think that Ben was the most skilled.
But it's annoying, especially with a challenge like that, where Aston saying that need Jules for redemption with Jules and Greg as captains. That would not go down well. But a challenge like that, you need to be concentrating. So if a host is there going, someone's balls are moving around, separating, coming back together, banging into each other, that is distracting. Also, I have trauma with this particular challenge. This was the challenge that I was voted out after doing. So that was a bit of PTSD for me.
I think that's part of the game. I think you got to put up with the host. JLP is always there, and David's followed in his shoes, making all sorts of sexual innuendo. I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
What's the controversial statement? What do you think what do you think the controversial statement is that we've made here? That none of the LRG hosts are particularly great at challenge commentary. They're not.
Yeah, I will say I was with this challenge. I was surprised that Hayley won, just because at the start, her technique, she was doing this, which is what I was doing with the not flat hand. Everyone else was flat. I have I don't know, my wrists are just not very flexible. So holding it flat, I can't hold that flat. It hurts my hand. So that's why I was doing it like that. And then so I noticed she was doing that flat, but by the second round, she had it flat again. So I was a bit nervous for her. I thought Jasmine was going to crush it. I thought my money was on Jasmine to survive. But we're very happy to see Hayley survive another round.
I want Ben to survive. That's who I want to stay in the game.
I know you wanted Ben to stay in the game. That does not surprise me.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the font either, and I might change it in a moment. It looks good in the names, but it doesn't look good in the comments, so I'll give it a change. No, I don't like the font for the Futurama fans out there. Are you ready, Dani? All right, Dani's coming in, so we've got to bring in a three-party situation here, just like the
Fresh
challenge
from a netball win.
Without further ado, the actual orca of our uncharted waters didn't lose to Greg.
And don't you
I
forget
didn't lose to Greg either. Let's get that clear.
Beat him in the game, and I beat him as an orca. Sucked him.
I beat
Dani,
him in the game.
what do you think about the take so far? Are you in agreement or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a host, it's hard to like have that gift to like be able to commentate as you go, like conscious of like trying to be across everybody, talk across everybody, and let them play. If I was one of the people next to Ben, I would have flipped my lid. It was hard enough when Mars was yapping at our merge challenge, which didn't make the edit, which was frustrating. And then, yeah, I would have, if I was one of those players, I would not have been happy at all. I get it. It's smart, but I fucking hated it. No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant as a person on the receiving end.
You didn't win, so it's a stupid strategy.
He only lost at the bit where it's like, okay, now we're going to make it super difficult because we're going to get this shit done so we can move on to the next part of the day. Like, he only lost at that bit. And he was very unhappy to lose. You see it in his face?
Oh, yeah.
Ben is the main character. We're all the main characters of our own story, but Ben really is like the superhero of his own story. And to lose, he was like in disbelief that was the end of his survivor journey, I felt.
Can we like even just go back to the very beginning of the episode? I can't believe we opened on Hayley opening poo.
That
was choice. That was choice.
I was just like,
she's looking. She's so desperate for that legacy double vote that's useless. Like, gotta get that extra vote.
When do you think it will be revealed to whom Jasmine bequeaths the legacy double vote?
Well, that's what I want to know. Does she give it to someone who is at the gloom of sadness, wherever they are, or does she give it to someone still in the game, or does she have the choice? That's what I want.
She has the choice, I think. If I was,
she can give it to someone in the grassland. So I think she'll give it to someone that's been voted out.
I'd give it to Hayley.
Maybe she'll give it to Hayley. Bree says, I heard next episode all is real. Yeah, so she doesn't like Hayley or someone else still in the game.
No.
You keep going around with a better font.
I was about to go change into font too.
Where's our regular one? That's not our regular one.
We're 24 hours away from the reveal, so now I'm excited to know that because it's been very underdeveloped, that particular plot point. So I'm keen to find out what that looks like. Considering we have so many twists and turns and we've had a lot of them explained, I would like this particular one explained.
It's a pointless advantage, though. Legacy extra vote. Never heard something so like underpowered.
Is it more or less underpowered than the White Rock?
Oh, the White Rock ended up being incredible.
The White Rock paid off, but I don't think they expected that to.
But look, I think of these people, I wanted Ben to survive, but Ben
as a character, yes,
as a character, and I think he had a lot more to offer that we didn't get to see. But I think that if he's not going to survive, I'm glad to see Hayley's journey continue. I don't think Zaddy Simon had much more to offer us. And Jasmine genuinely seemed quite confused about what was going on all the time. So I don't know what more she could have also offered to the game should she return. You know that if Hayley returns to the game, she's going to come in like a woman scorned, looking...
She's flipping a red, flipping a blue. She's coming in guns hot.
I feel like
I like to look at that emotional moment from her at the end when she won.
I love that.
Like that's how I would be feeling. Like, oh my 100%. God, like, yeah. So I like.
She felt that because she didn't believe that she had the capability to win it as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this. episode proper. Dani, you're going to take us through the story. What have you got for us? So we're going to jump to the vote. Like, that's a lot of notes. Can we jump to the vote like we like to do? Can you find that in your notes?
Yes, so they're in chronological order.
Yes, excellent.
They are.
Once
sure
again,
and everything as well. Knowing Dani.
we predicted this. This was predicted last week.
Yes.
That if they went to tribal again, Rose would be voted out, and thereby it's her third time being voted out pre-merge.
That's her legacy, isn't it? Bless her. Being swap screwed.
In the end of the day, the universe balances. Only two people at this stage of airing have played 3 times. Keegan and Rose both started by playing Melbourne 1 together, the second season film, and both of them have played 3 times. But Keegan has always made merge, and Rose never has. So it's
Keegan's a player who makes merge 9 out of 10 times he plays.
Yeah, you keep him
He
around.
really gets voted out pretty quickly.
Yeah. As soon as he loses immunity, he's gone.
But maybe Keegan also would have got voted out in this scenario. And we've talked about this before, how Rose's 2 prior occasions were not necessarily her fault. It was bad survivor luck with a swap screw. But here, she made numerous errors that resulted in her boot.
Yeah. For me, there was 2 key errors that she made. We talked at length last week about the voting for Jordan. We talked about that at length. That's the big one. The other big one this week, she should have gone for Desperation Station the minute they got back to camp.
Yeah.
Because I think if she's the one that takes it, they do not vote her.
Nope.
And that's
they
the smart play.
Take that risk.
When she takes it, don't worry about her. She's immune for all intents and purposes. We go for Rose.
It's an implied immunity.
It is.
And then she can't use it again next time. Whereas if they'd voted out Mushy, Rose can use it again next time.
The only time it's not an implied immunity is where you have a group that's all completely aligned. And they're like, well, we've just got to take the punt, right? Or we're voting for one of us, and that's going to completely upset our entire alliance. So let's just take the punt. She doesn't get it. And you may or may not do that. You might implode your alliance at that point. But when you have other options, like they have here, and it's particularly made the case because Maddie, who was a bit on the outs with the OG Reds, also has implied immunity, which I forgot, from the prior thing. And I feel that Maddie has been given an overpowered position in this game. She was given a free immunity just by not being picked, right? Because she didn't go to a tribal. And then because she got to do the Desperation Station, she had implied immunity at this tribal. And she hasn't actually used her Desperation Station term.
But I think I would rather be with the tribe from the start than miss out on that crucial time when you first swap together, getting to know everyone. She's coming into this tribe behind. Like, yes, she's already in the majority of Reds. The new blue people, like, she knew she was on the outs. No, she knew she was on the outs at Red. She knew. I think she knew that she was going to go next. So I think if she had come into that tribe from the start, she probably flips and goes with the blues. So she missed out on that opportunity. She didn't have every opportunity she could to make the most of her game.
Do you think that it's appropriate that she was given immunity twice, effectively?
She wasn't given immunity.
She effectively had immunity twice.
Yeah.
I feel production are keeping her in the game because they hope that somebody can find the idol, but you literally need about 5 hours to find it. So, like, they've given Maddie time away to think about it with the hope that maybe she can figure it out. She has not yet figured it out.
Mm-hmm. I think something else that's going to come up if Mushy and Maddie compare notes about what happened at Desperation Station, they'll work out that they got the exact same puzzle and that it is too hard because neither of them could solve it. And I think if word gets around, I think it'll become a thing of, well, Desperation Station doesn't matter anyway because not many people are going to get safety from it.
Does this mean that Maddie's going to get the same puzzle the next time she uses the desperation station. Another
Yeah,
advantage.
that's what
for Maddie.
that's what it looks like.
We didn't see like a close up of Mushy's puzzle. I
It
wondered
looked the
if
same.
it looked the same. I can see a world where they like just change the digits out so that they are, so you can't just memorize what you got and go again. Which I don't think Maddie would. I mean, Maddie was, trying to work it out by working out how many people were on the tribe and everything. Like, she wasn't actually solving it. So
You don't have to memorize.
Bree's saying each puzzle is a variation of the same puzzle. So yeah,
okay.
I would say it's the same puzzle, just with the digits slightly different.
So, but the key for this puzzle is not the answer; it's the working. So if you were to share with someone else what it is and how you're supposed to logic it out, then that could help them in their 10 minutes. That is something that people that are aligned may seek to do as the game progresses. Mm-hmm. If you've done it and failed, or you've done it and succeeded, and you're got a close ally, you wouldn't want to tell too many people, but a close ally, you could say, this is what I did, I didn't get it right, or I did get it right, we'll know from the tribal, but this is what the puzzle's sort of like. Like, it's like when I went to university and realized I didn't want to be an accountant, I still passed accounting because my friend would teach me enough of how to do the working, and I could just, give it a crack. But I didn't understand it. I just knew the working. You could do that, Jules. You're the master of this puzzle.
Yeah. I just look at that puzzle and I would have just been like, I don't fucking know.
I mean, like I said this last time, but yeah, I did it in the comfort of my own home with zero pressure on me at something that I would be good at. Like, I'm good at that kind of puzzle. And it took me 7.5 minutes or something like that. That someone who is not good at it, who has pressure on them, I think is going to really struggle to get it done in 10 minutes.
Me. I'd be like, I'm going to sit down over here. I don't know what this means.
You've been doing a Maddie and just been like, yeah, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, no idea.
So Rose made numerous mistakes. She voted for Jordan. I don't think she owned voting for Jordan in a very effective way. I don't think Jordan actively targeted her, though. I think she was a bit chaotic enough that Aston and Janine sort of lost interest in potentially working with her. Plus, Mushy gets the desperation station.
That's the catalyst for it. Like, they were like umming and ahhing about who, and the minute that Mushy goes, I'm like, well.
So how should Rose have handled coming back to camp after voting for Jordan?
She shouldn't have voted for Jordan.
Well, she shouldn't have voted for him, but she did. How do you control that when you get back to camp?
Well, I think the damage is done.
I think the only thing you can really do is you just say, look, Ben told me at the last minute that he had an idol. I was told there were votes coming my way. If I had voted for Ben and he's got an idol, I'm screwed. I have to vote for the only other person that I know for sure is getting a vote. That's the only really thing you do. It's not great for Jordan to hear, but for other people, it's like, okay, yeah, I can kind of understand that.
Aston's making a comment here that Janine and Jordan were quite off-road from season 1. Do you mean, like, I don't think she did anything.
Janine said in the episode, I think, that she wanted Rose out because of season 1.
And I think you hear Jordan say, Jordan say once or twice, like, that he'd seen her play season 1. So he was across who she was.
Yeah.
Was there anything she did in season 1, though, that made her a particularly threatening or concerning player?
I think she was in a good spot on the original Blue tribe. She was in that majority that voted out Aston. Janine said Rose was there.
Yeah.
Well, Rose voted Janine out.
Yeah.
That was Rose's move. So for Janine, this was payback.
Revenge.
Redemption.
And Rose also voted Aston out.
Yes. So this is redemption for both of them.
Yeah.
I still feel that she could have threaded this needle and maybe got through.
Yeah, I agree.
But sad. And also, she needed better relationships at Blue. No one at Blue is even thinking about throwing a challenge for her.
No. And Mushy was already on the outs over there, so there was like, no, there was no way. That wasn't even a consideration.
If it was the Blue tribe, if we turn to them now, have decided that they're just going to go into a.
Well, they're not that confident with each other either, though. So I think that's That's a big factor there as well. You're not going to throw a challenge unless you're very confident in your fall. And they're not.
What is the blue numbers going to be like in merge? 2, 3?
Not going to be great.
Which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to go in. Let's say it's Derek and Will and Anthea that go in as the 3 into a merge. The Reds have issues they need to resolve. Maybe Haley comes back.
We know Mars loves a begonging though, so you know.
He's learnt though. He's here for fun this time. So
yes, he has learnt. He knows that he needed those people, you two, to go a bit further if he wanted to make it to the end. He has
Mars.
learnt that
If
now.
Mars had kept me for that vote, he would have won the game.
That's right.
He's mine.
So
He's mine.
Mars would see the value in these people.
Yeah.
Plus, he's more aligned with them than you guys ever were with Mars.
Yes. I'm really interested to hear the Mars confessional when they get back from the challenge, how he said he mouthed to Aston and Jordan to throw the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So he thinks in his head that he's convinced Aston and Jordan to throw the challenge.
I don't think they threw that. I think they
I don't think they threw it either, but I just thought that was a really interesting confessional.
Yeah.
No one threw that challenge. Everyone was just fucking useless.
Wait, we're talking about this one or the last one? I think
Oh, sorry, no, the last one.
Mars was saying that he asked him to throw the last one.
Yeah, okay.
This challenge was ridiculous. Can we get into the challenge?
Oh, look, Aston said he intended to throw the challenge, but he didn't get the chance.
Yeah, you didn't even get to the ball thingy because the people at the front sucked. But can we get into the challenge of this week of the slide puzzle that did not matter? Didn't matter how fast you did it. Bree absolutely crushed it. Anthea was sitting there forever. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
I liked the concept, although in the description of it, when they were talking about it, they were like, "Oh, it's a slide puzzle, but there's a piece missing." Like, yes, that by definition, a slide puzzle needs to have a piece missing. Otherwise, it's not a puzzle; it's just a picture.
So we're going to jump back because this is a very good point.
Okay.
We've talked about this. Loz has got a paragraph here. She wants to be on the show. If Rose took the Desperation Station Idol, then she has a chance. There is a mechanic in play that could have kept her safe. So it's still below the fault.
She should have gone for it the minute they got back to camp.
Yeah, that's the only way that she's potentially surviving. Otherwise, there's no way.
What is Bree saying she tried at the
She tried. No,
puzzle?
you didn't. You did more than try. You crushed that slide puzzle, and it didn't matter.
I think Bree, I've learned how to slide puzzle now. As everyone knows from playing with fire, I have no capability. I've learned to slide puzzles that all goes in, and I took a tutorial to work it out one day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Anthea had a great strategy for.
With slide puzzles, you either know how to do them or you don't.
Anthea
and I don't think Anthea knows how to do them. I think she figured it out, but the other stuff was taking so long that it didn't matter.
I'll tell you the little tip for everyone watching at home. I learned you've got to treat a 3x3 slide puzzle is very easy. Most people can do that, right? So what you need to do is treat any larger one as you do the 3x3, and then you do the next layer, and then the next layer. This is how you do it, right? That's how it works. It's amazing.
I do the top row, and then you do the left, and then you do the next row, and then the left, and you. So I work the opposite way to how you do. I come down.
You're wrong.
I'm very good at slide puzzles. I can do a 10x10 slide puzzle, no problem.
Loz making the point they would then split the moats on.
They did still split.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Bree. Breathe with me.
I think I would like to see how Tara does it, because that's the true test.
Okay, all right. Bree was pretty impressive. Well, I want to see a Bree versus Tara slide puzzle head to head.
Tara did it in like 8 seconds. Bree did not do it.
They didn't have a timer on Bree, but she had it done pretty quick. The other thing is, I didn't really know what the finished product was supposed to look like. And I don't know that Bree did either. That makes it much harder because you need to start with the top left piece. If you don't know which piece is top left, that's a lot harder. You got to sort of put it a bit together and be like, oh, wait, I need to do that over here now. We've
heard this from John at nauseum. He didn't have the right picture. He didn't have the right left-hand piece. That's why Max beat him, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, with the other part of the puzzle, with the dinosaurs and the codes, and it was just, that took way too long. Like,
it took too long, but I thought it was fun.
It was fun, but I like the idea of, okay, you've got to do this and do this at the same time, so you've got to make sure you're putting the right person on the right thing. but it took too long. I think having the dummy box in there made it too much. And maybe that was just so that they had enough positions per person on the tribe. I don't know. But yeah, get rid of the dummy piece. Maybe make the codes a little bit less complicated. Did they? I don't think they knew the order to put the numbers in, so that made it take a bit longer as well. So I think there were things that could have been done. That if it was a situation where one tribe was finished, like imagine if Anthea's tribe was finished first, got the piece out, and she can't finish the puzzle, and then Bree's doing it. Janine cooked us.
Throwing it under the bus. Under the bus.
Janine cooked us. Not sure Maddie was the right person. They swap out. What do you think about the swap out? I don't like swap outs.
No,
if you assign someone to a role, you're stuck there.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I think I'm not surprised Dan let it happen. Dan's a softie, we know that. He's a lovely person. And
I guarantee you, Ma on set was just like, this is taking too long. Like, swap it out. Let's speed this up. Ma likes to stick to her schedule.
It was too. It was boring. It was bad TV. Yeah. And I don't know how much they edited that challenge down. I reckon they edited it down from a lot longer than it actually was.
Bree wasn't allowed to swap. You didn't need to swap out.
Bree could swap out and then just do more of the challenge. She could work out all the numbers as well.
Bree could have done the whole challenge by herself. Can I look? I'm still rooting for Derek, obviously, but I might be jumping on the Bree bandwagon as
I'm a Bree stan, 100%. Yeah,
because she's giving Orca just a little bit, not a lot. You don't need a lot of
confessionals are fun.
Just put them out.
She drops an F-bomb. I enjoy it.
Who's Deli?
Who's Deli?
Adele.
Oh, Adele. Thank you.
Adele goes away. Adele, we're not aware of this. Okay, so that's
on Facebook.
Let's go back to Blue, because there are some interesting dynamics happening at Blue. We've got Mars trying to make new friends.
Mm-hmm. Yes, what is it? They've got the Melbourne Boy Alliance.
Yeah.
Which is Derek, Will, and Mars.
Yeah.
I like this.
I like
that alliance.
I like what him and Adele were doing of like, oh, by the way, Maddie pulled the thing off the top of the flag. Anthea probably took that thinking it was an idol. Yours is gone. That's pretty sneaky. Like just throwing Anthea under that bus.
Who did take it?
Anthea took it.
Oh, did she try and play it already, or she still got it?
No, she just took it because she thought it might be something.
Yeah.
But then you've got the other side is then Natalie's just telling everybody everything about all the tribe dynamics. So the fact she's just like,
I don't really know what Natalie's.
I don't know what she's doing.
I think Natalie identified that she's on the bottom of the Blue tribe. She almost got voted out over Simon. She copped the votes, and she knows she's got. I don't think she's got a number one. I don't think she's got an alliance.
She doesn't.
She's got nothing.
No, she's just sharing information left, right, and center on hopes that like honors something for somebody.
Yeah, there's one scene here that like just baffled my mind. She was talking to Will, who has openly said, "I voted for you at that tribal," and then she's in confessional talking about, I really trust Will because we've had the chance to test this. It's like you haven't. Will failed that test. He voted for you. Why do you now trust him?
I've got here. I was just like, so yeah, she's going to be the one who will flip. She's giving up all the information on her previous tribe dynamics. And then she tells Will to be strategic about what he shares. So she's telling everybody everything, but then tells Will
it's fine for her to do it.
Don't tell everybody everything. And then she says that Will is her number one.
Mm-hmm. They've had a chance to test the trust, and he chose to vote for her.
He
garnered that trust back because he told her that he voted for her.
He did.
If only Jordan subscribed to this style of survival play, Rose might still be with us.
But yeah, that was a very, very interesting. And then we have a merge pact with Anthea, Mars, and Will.
That's in loose.
Indeed, Mars is not sure. He's a little intimidated by Anthea.
Why is everyone so scared of Anthea this time?
I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought she was going to clock him.
No one's clocking Mars. He's playing.
He's playing a very subtle game.
I know.
But Anthea It does seem scarier this time around. There's something about it. I get why they're
she's
intimidated.
in everything. She's
yeah.
asking the questions. She's being direct. Like she's not letting
alliances.
There's like little to no small talk. She's like, what are we doing? How are we going? How do you feel? Do you like me? I like you. Like there's no softness about it this time around. She's in.
Apparently she's a Crew Viva powerhouse.
What's Crew Viva?
That's when at Canberra Survivor, when they film, the crew all play like a Survivor game. It's very unserious, but they do that and they vote each other out like in between their actual tribals.
How do they do that?
I don't have time.
By text chain.
What?
By like text. It's basically an org.
I do not understand how they're doing that and actually doing their work.
It's very unserious, but apparently she does very well.
There was
probably because she takes it super seriously. I imagine.
Ask Tara. There you go.
That
tells you everything you need to know.
I imagine Anthea takes it super seriously.
Oh, she would. She'd be pre-gaming.
There was a really interesting. I can't remember who she was chatting to, but it must have been talking to Adele and Mars, maybe. But she was like, "Are you a duo?" Or like, "Is this a trio? Is there a duo in this trio?" Like she was just being so forthright and trying to figure out the dynamics of everybody. So I could understand why like people would be want to be like, if that's their first like take of her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be a bit intense.
Well, there's a reason she's already got a Brommy, and maybe contender this week. We'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. What do we think of the idol shenanigans of her like trying to find it and apparently thinking the clue says it's near the fence?
I have to say, once again, this idol clue is too difficult. We want people to get advantages, Dan. Like, what is this? Anthea is a very smart woman. I think Maddie's also a smart woman, but she's also like spinning off this planet during this game.
You don't have the time to be doing something like that.
Anthea is smart, logical, thorough, thoughtful, and she still can't figure it out. Like, what chance does anybody else have? Particularly someone who's going to tribal all the time, if you're over on red, to figure this out.
Like, think about it. Yeah.
It's too difficult. And Canberra's always doing this stuff. Like, it's just like how in the last season, how it was the idol, but it's the other tribe, and like it's too much. Just throw an idol in.
Yeah.
Just throw an idol.
Like, I'm fine with, okay, she found the clue and it says go over here and get this note. But then that note should say this is where it is. Not
essentially like an X marks the spot. It's fucking right here. Like this is a map of where we are. It's here.
Yeah. I mean, this would be a great thing if we saw it on Real Survivor. This is something that it's a very new era kind of thing. When they have all day, they've got like 2-3 days between tribals. These guys have like 20 minutes. She hasn't got the time to find this shit.
And I think that she's reached the point now where she's basically given up on the idea of finding it. So she's just going to use it strategically to further strengthen her bonds with Will and Derek by showing them, not just saying I have a clue or whatever, showing them the clue. Although she made a fatal error apparently and told Will like 2 seconds before Derek, and now Derek's grumpy about it.
I see Anthea being ousted from that duo and being replaced by Mars.
I can see
very
that
quickly
because of this.
I just think the vibe is better. I think it doesn't take much. I don't think it's specifically because of this, but I just think they're like
the returning player thing is probably going to be a factor as well.
Yeah, especially because like at this rate, she stands to be the last remaining returnee.
How do you feel? How do you feel though about a day one alliance that have always worked together well, and now they're just going to ditch the woman who's a bit older than them for just another bro? Like, how do you guys feel about this?
I'm okay about it.
I mean, this is how these alliances work.
Yeah, I'm okay about it.
You also have to factor in like how well have they worked together? They had this solid 4 alliance that didn't all vote together because they couldn't get their shit together. Like, is it this solid alliance that we think it is, or is it just, hey, these are the 4 that are at the eating challenge, let's make an alliance?
I think Ben was also more of a stronger voice in keeping this group together than we may have appreciated.
None of the three of these are the ones who are going to take charge.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I think with Ben going to the other tribe and now being out of the game, that does free Derek and Will up to look at other opportunities. And I get what you mean with the vibe with Mars, but as I want to put it again, is the vibe just, hey, I want to be with my bros, and we're too different? How do you feel about this? This hasn't happened, of course. This is a hypothetical scenario. Yeah. Derek and Anthea might go to the end together. We don't even know.
I mean, as far as Anthea, obviously that's heartbreaking, but I'm very excited by this trio. Like this trio, like this is kind of the first like trio where I'm like, ooh, I really, really like the potential of the three of these boys together. And I'm the one who like hates like all boy alliances, but this particular boy alliance, I'm like, I fuck with this.
And I think they've bonded over something, just being from Melbourne. Like it's not the deepest thing in the world, but when you find
much
anything,
so in this, it's the littlest thing. That's all you need.
Anything to connect over, and that's going to bond you to that person. Hey, yeah, we're all from Melbourne. Let's be the VB Alliance or whatever they want to be. The Melbourne boys, yeah.
Melbourne boys, is that what they're called?
Yeah, the Melbourne Boy Alliance.
Melbourne boys.
They're going to come up with a better name. That's a terrible.
That sounds like a racist gang from the Cronulla race rights. Bad name. Especially with Derek and Mars. Go get off that suit. More positivity, please, being brought into the world.
Oh, dear.
Melbourne
boys, let's go.
Melbourne
Will says it's a boy band vibe.
The Melbourne boy band would be better. I agree with the boy band vibe.
Melbourne boys. Melbourne boys.
In sync. Something like that. 3, like 5, but like 3.
No, you never ever name your alliance with the number of people that's in it. That's bad luck. So like you never be the something 3 or like people do it all the time on USO with their tribe name, like the whatever tribe 4 or 5. That's bad luck. It will never last.
The Burak 4 dominated until they got.
How did that work out for them?
I was a bad rock draw. That's 8. What are you gonna do?
All right, so who? Let's go to the blue tribe. Who's sitting pretty? Who's in trouble?
I think Derek and Will are in very strong spots. I think they're close with each other. They're building these relationships with the new people that have come across. I think if a flip was to happen, it's not going to be against them.
Aston says, how do these people have enough time to name their alliances? Look, Aston, you have played for 7 episodes, I believe, and you pretty much went to tribal council in fucking all of them. So this is the problem. When you're not going to tribal council, you got plenty of time to talk about all sorts of shit. You're just always going to tribal council.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how our alliance name came about. Yeah, that makes sense. When you have the time.
You're just bored.
He's bored.
I think Adele's sitting very pretty. I think she's very well liked. No one's looking at her as threatening. Everyone's kind of happy to chat with her. She's sitting very, very pretty. She was very chuffed that she got picked first.
And then she was like, "Oh wait, Adele, I don't want to be picked first."
I have zero issue with anything Adele is doing right now. It's an 18-person game, and who knows where merge is, and this is pre-merge. But she's going to need to do stuff at the post-merge.
I think she's doing a lot more than what you probably think. Like, I think she's playing the social game. I think she's doing very well.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think, there's nothing.
She's going to have a resume. She's the sort of player.
You don't make a resume pre-merge.
I'm not. I agree with this.
That's not what you said. He said post-merge, you need to start playing.
She's the sort of player that goes under the radar because people underestimate that sort of player.
Yeah.
And so they don't see you as threatening. But if you do nothing, then you're just a non-threatening player who went to the end because you were non-threatening. So she's using people's natural assumptions about who she is to her advantage now. She's not playing anything down, playing anything up, just going smooth. But she will need to spike her game, particularly with returnees, particularly with people like Derek, People were like potentially
Mars.
Will. I think Will could be underestimated as well. Mars, yes. So I think that to stand out, she'll need to be mindful of that. But I think she's doing the right thing right now.
Yeah.
And if Blue go to tribal next, who goes?
I think
No, we do that after. That's after TWIOLSH. We can't talk about.
All right, sorry.
Where is
All right,
that?
I mean,
so
I think the one person we haven't really talked about from that tribe at all is Mark.
Yes.
What,
Barely talking about
what's
Mark
he
on this
doing?
show. He's surprising me.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about when we did the draft about how someone with his life and professional experience will be well placed in this game. But we did also talk to the fact that his age difference to a lot of the other players is very significant.
Yeah.
I don't think the age difference has been a problem.
No.
It is equally not walking around.
Not yet though, because he's been with Janine, right? So it's been like
He's not there anymore. He hasn't been I know he hasn't gone to a vote, but he's not walking around with the Steve Buscemi skateboard backwards hat going, "Hello, fellow kids." He's just being himself, but it seems to not be bothering any of the fellow kids.
Yeah.
No. I mean, we're also getting barely any content from him, so I'm like,
But that's what I mean. We haven't talked about him because we aren't seeing him. Is that because he's going to have a deep run and so we don't need to worry about him? Is it because he's getting voted out next? Is he just not in any of the conversations? This is what I need to know.
because it doesn't appear to be in any conversations. Because we're seeing conversations happening between different people, but he's not in any of them.
Correct.
I don't think he's playing a strategic game.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's playing a purely social game. A half-hour conversation of Mark telling me about his fake painting career was cut from this ep. That's what he's doing. He's not throwing out strategy.
He's bonding.
He's lying about his job.
Hey, we should be an alliance. He's playing a very subtle social game, but that could put him in some danger. When is the guest coming? Soon, hopefully.
Look, let me send him a ping.
Then we're running out of content for this episode. We're gauging into this area. Oh, we didn't know if anyone would be available for an interview. This is incredible timing. So I think we finished.
Perfect timing.
It's the perfect timing.
And I get to now play my new little video that I haven't shown.
Oh, here we go.
I am obsessed with that. That is fantastic. Well done.
Very,
very well done. Oh my god.
Blowhole. That's what we call it. The blowhole.
The graphic, that is fantastic. I'm obsessed with that.
We're going to welcome one of the people that lost the challenge today. Which one is it? We have to wait and see as I get the drum roll ready.
Drum roll.
Give me a second. I was not prepared. I'm so excited. Welcome, Jasmine.
Hello.
Hi, we're so glad you could join us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
You've been doing the interview circuit this week. You were on the backbenches earlier, and now you're here. How much have you learnt about Survivor from this experience? Because it didn't seem like you knew anything about Survivor from the game you were playing in Canberra, from what we were watching.
No, I think after Survivor Canberra, I realised I loved watching it, not necessarily being in it. I felt like the whole experience gave me a good amount of anxiety, wondering, is Simon on my side? Is he just saying things to make me agree with him? Then just the little chats with everyone back at camp after our challenges. I was very naive, that's for sure. Watching it back, oh my goodness.
Why do you think they voted you out? What do you think was your ultimate downfall? Oh, I think it was a choice between you and Mushy. Why was it you and not Mushy?
I don't think I made those connections early on. Looking back at Mushy's journey, yes, it definitely looked like she went out and about and wouldn't say made friends, but made connections to say, I'm not a threat. And then when the outcome of the challenge played out, it's, hey, we've had a connection, we've had a chat. I didn't put myself out there like she did. And I think ultimately that was my downfall, unfortunately.
It doesn't
But
take
that's
much in those
okay.
early phases. Like, it doesn't take much. There's like sometimes there's not much you can do wrong, but just to not form the same amount of bonds. That's all it takes often for that first vote. It's not much at all.
Yes. Still didn't think, I thought it was Mushy that put my name out there, but watching everything back, oh my God, Rose.
Did you?
And yes, it was her all along. I guess you can never really pick with these games and the other connections and chats people have with each other.
Especially if you're not necessarily a big Survivor fan or like have had LRG experience. I mean, I could say like from my first game to my second game, like the difference in the noticing of things, you understand the speed of what that looks like. So first time out the gate, never having that experience, and also plus not a ton of Survivor knowledge either. It doesn't take much to suddenly be overwhelmed. So you're definitely not alone in that like anxiety piece. It's a very anxiety inducing time, especially with how fast paced it is. You just got to think on the fly and it never stops.
If I ever play Survivor again, I'll know what to do, I guess.
Yeah, you do though. You do. You know what you've done wrong, and you can it gives you the chance to fix those mistakes.
But does anyone want to put themselves through 2, 3, 4 days worth of anxiety?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
again and again and again.
Do you think that was a mistake made by you in the first episode where you had an opportunity with Simon to go for the idol clue together? You both chose not to go for the idol. You said first, I don't want to do that. Our feel was Simon was maybe keener on having a crack at it. Do you think it would have been better to bond yourself closer by maybe doing that together?
Potentially, or at least devise the plan together and be confident. I think I gave Simon that wishy-washy feeling and didn't sit well with him. And I totally agree. Again, looking back, if I were to do it again, I think I would be more aggressive in my approach and say, no, don't do it. Or if we do it, this is where we should end up when we talk to other people.
Right, because you go back to the group and then you talk about mental endurance, and it's not a conversation you've had with Simon. So Simon can't back you in any place because he's just like, I don't know what. Because like, what does that mean? What's a mental endurance challenge? So you're totally right. Like, what were you? Did you think that they would ask you what that meant? Like, talk me through that thought process.
I think out of the puzzle mental challenge, I thought I would give myself the best chance with mental. Maybe it was playing games with other people, which I love doing in real life. Just kidding. I think in the other podcast I said I would have liked to have joined another group where there were at least 3 people, so I could bounce off more than one person.
Yeah.
And form 2 friendships instead of the one with Simon, which I felt like I didn't do at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've said on our podcast too that like you always want to go in the group with the bigger numbers in the beginning because it just gives you more options of moving forward. Whereas it's like when it's that one-on-one and then you're stuck in this like, do we take the idol, do we not, and having to be honest about that, it just puts you on the back foot from the get-go.
If that happened later in the game, I think I would have a better idea of how I would want to play out. But I think at the beginning, just wanting everyone to like me, trying to be truthful, it didn't pan out so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Would
it's hard to
you-
be assertive like that when you've just met someone. So I don't think anyone would have done. I would have probably done what you did. So yeah, I definitely can't fault you for that.
Did you know when you were standing there and they brought in these returnees? Did you know any of the returnees? Had you watched any of the Canberra seasons?
No, before I did set out for Canberra, I did flashbacks of a few episodes, but I didn't watch them in depth like a lot of fans have.
Did you feel intimidated by there were people, a whole number of people like Simon, who you were stuck in that position with, who had played before and were playing with a level of, of experience that you certainly can't have as a first time?
No, I can't say I felt intimidated because I thought anyone coming back for a second chance, every newbie would want them off ultimately, I think. I think that's a general consensus. I did watch Survivor back in the day and I sort of knew the game, but just never watched it again. So again, not up to scratch with the tactics.
You did have a tactic though at this grasslands where you obviously got the welcome clue, which gave you information there was an advantage. You then decided to cover up the welcome clue with as much excrement as possible in order to dissuade people from also reading the clue. You then found the advantage and, from what I can tell, had no interest in letting any of them know that you found it and let Hayley basically break apart further excrement in order to maybe find something. Was there a strategy there? It seemed like there was a strategy there.
I think at that stage I thought, if I'm going to go out, I go out with the bang. What am I going to do and amuse myself with in the grasslands and team? So that was one of them, and I thought, what storyline could I pull out from just being in that depressing place? And that was the only thing I could think of. Bless the love, Hayley. Played along with it so well. Simon in the end told me that he didn't fight for a bit, and Ben was not there long enough to experience that, though I felt like he was he could be a very gullible person.
So, what was it like, speaking of Ben, what was it like doing the challenge with him, just yapping at you the whole time?
It was a very, very, very distracting, and I think when Ben lost it, then Simon lost it, Hayley and then I eventually lost it, and just profanities came out of my mouth blaming Ben for the downfall.
Yeah, I would have too. Yeah. I'm surprised that no one just told him to shut the fuck up, to be fair.
I feel like I did say that, but
they've given you a nice edit. Fair enough.
Yeah.
How was the reunion with Simon at the grasslands? Was there any opportunity for you to clear the air when he came in, or was it still left a bit unspoken about? Because I don't think you thought maybe I think he was more with you than he wasn't, but he couldn't really save you, so he didn't. He didn't try too hard.
No, we definitely cleared it up. It was redemption for me, seeing him there, and I just unfortunately shoved it in his face saying, yeah, you got what you deserve for not siding with me back there.
I love that. Amazing.
And he did say I was a bit wishy-washy, so he decided to take over the narrative when Natalie asked, what was your clue, or what did you guys get presented with? And Simon said that he felt my answer was a bit wishy-washy, so he decided to swoop in. He didn't want to put himself in a position to be voted out.
And then he was.
I'd want to save myself.
Yeah. Then you ended up in the same position anyway.
Yes,
Sucked in.
that's exactly how I felt. And then Dan being there as well, ultimately in the end, I was just so happy.
Redemption all over the place.
But I think anyone that voted for me, I would have been happy to see there. So.
Of course. Yeah. No, totally fair. Well, I mean, I always ask, what drew you to LRGs? Like, how did you come about them? How did you find them, and why did you apply?
I think, I don't know, maybe I was doom scrolling. Unfortunately, I saw Survivor Canberra pop up, and I decided, why not? How many people would apply for these sort of mini games? Really like Survivor back in the day when I did watch it religiously. Love the physical aspect. And then when Dan and Liv reached out, I was like, sure, yes, of course. Again, not knowing what to expect. And
Yeah.
here we are.
When did you find out? You said how many people are applying for this? I get the impression you're implying you thought not many. When did you find out that, if dozens of people are applying? Most seasons upwards of 50, 60, 70 people are applying to play, and you were one of those people chosen, one of only 11 that were new to this season. When did you find out that you were in that sort of that you must have been that exciting and special that they wanted you on out of a huge group that would have applied?
I honestly can't remember the time frame between when I found out, but I guess since being on Survivor Canberra, I've seen Backyard Survivor WA pop up. I've seen Survivor Sydney pop up. I've seen mini day LRGs. I just didn't realise it was this common and there was such a huge fan base.
It's a cult. It's a cult.
I see cults as bad things. Survivor, all these mini survivors are really good. Brings community together, which I love. And I've actually thought about, I don't think like Backyard Survivor is on anymore, but I actually thought about applying for WA because that's where I'm from.
Yeah. So you're keen to play again?
I'm keen to play again. If I did play again, would I do it differently? Yes. But again, who would want that anxiety, right? It's like, are you going to believe what I'm saying? Do I say it this way? Do I say it a different way? Do I make friends? Do I just be an alpha up front? What do I do?
Yeah. But all the things you can try, if you get your second chance, like you've done it once. What's and you were the first boot? What's the worst that can happen? That it happens again? Like
you can be the first boot twice. First boot
you
twice.
can be. You can be, but that's the worst part. That's the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, Jasmine. You're our first interview of the season, and it's so great to have you and see you.
Thank you so much.
I think we lost you too soon, and I think you had a lot to offer, and what you did offer was fantastic. So thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you so much.
It's now time for everyone's favorite segment. I'm just gonna get the stuff going while I really need someone to do this stuff for me. Like we need a yeah. All right. It's time for TWIOLSH, and today's competitor taking Jules on is he needs no introduction, but he's going to get one because I like doing introductions. He's a Canberra Survivor alumni of significant repute. He came as close as anyone could to winning without winning. He is the Dominic Abate of the Australian LRG community. Let's welcome the Ghost Island loser of Canberra Survivor 1. Brad, welcome.
Hey, how are you? You make me blush.
You done something to your hand there, it looks like, Brad.
It's just a broken finger, don't worry about it.
Did you... Sorry?
No, I don't need to play this, so should be right.
Have you played this before? Have you been on 12 before?
No, I haven't.
Are you familiar with what the rules are? What's going to be happening?
If you could explain them to me, that'd be fantastic.
Just FYI, they're very keen for Greg versus Jules on 12. That should probably be arranged, Danny, if we get that sorted. Okay, so
I'll kick his ass again.
this is some trivia. You didn't kick his ass, you drew. This is a trivia game about LRGs, particularly Canberra Survivor. There are 4 questions. 3 are from the 3 seasons of Canberra, 1, 2, 3. 1 is from Melbourne Survivor 4, Uncharted Waters, the season that Jules was on. You pick a question. If you get it right, you get 2 points. If you're unsure of the answer, I can give you a multiple choice and you only get 1 point. If you get it wrong, Jules or your opponent, whoever gets it wrong, can steal for points. And I have not written a tiebreaker once again. So let's make sure that we... I had a tiebreaker actually from the prior week. I have to find that. Let's make sure that we don't do that. But Brad, who would you like? You're the guest, so you get to pick. Which would you like first? Canberra 1, 2, 3, or Uncharted Waters?
I'll take Canberra 1. I feel like that'll be up my alley.
Yeah, makes sense. So it's going to be also the episode of this week. So these are episode 4 of the various seasons. Rose went in this episode, sadly, one of our returnees on this current season. She ultimately was removed on a revote. Can you tell me who voted for her on the revote?
On the revote. Okay, so I know from memory, Ben and Jeremy were the other people in the tie. So it would have been Keegan, Charlene, Brendan.
That is correct. 2 points to Brad. Very well done. Jules, what would you like?
I'll have Uncharted Waters, please.
Shocking.
Go with your strengths. Okay. This was the tribe swap done in the format of who don't you want on your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the first person to be rejected by a person from their original tribe?
So as in someone put someone on the other tribe that was from their OG.
Yeah.
I believe that it was Aaron.
That is correct. Aaron was rejected, as you guys
By
rejected
Mars.
him constantly the whole game, by Mars of this season. Poor old Aaron, rejected by Mars. The only person, in fact, that was not chosen by someone from their original tribe. Poor Aaron. What would you like to go to, Brad?
Let's go Canberra 2.
Canberra 2. Okay. This challenge is a Survivor Classic. It was Hot Pursuit. Who dropped out first?
Oh, I don't know if Haley dropping out counts, but I'm going to say Haley.
I'm not counting the Haley, so I'm not counting that. She did not even start the challenge, so I'm not counting that as dropping it out. Though that was nonsense, and I don't understand how that was just allowed, and the other tribe didn't have to drop someone in. Anyway, crazy stuff. I'm not counting Haley. So second go.
Oh God, it's been so many years. So actually watched and also crewed it. I honestly have no idea. I'm just gonna guess John.
You're guessing John?
Yeah.
That is incorrect. Jules for the steal.
I think you were actually very, very close on the letters of the name. I believe it was Joe.
It was Joe. She basically hands it to
She just
Banfield
dropped the minute
immediately. The whistle blows and she just hands over the bag to Banfield.
Honestly, yeah, it's not in my memory at all. It's been so long.
That's all good. That's fine. All right. So we can still tie it up here if Jules gets this question wrong. I have found my tiebreaker question, by the way. I wrote it last week.
Oh,
so
good. I'm glad.
we can still do the tiebreaker. So in this episode of Canberra 3, we lost 2 returnees in a way. We lost Anthea, obviously going to the swamp, and Maddie, who was eliminated from the swamp. So a lot of the returnees from Canberra in this current season going out this particular week. But it almost didn't go that way for Anthea, as Eden played an idol on her. It just happened to be for the wrong tribe. If that idol had been a valid idol and Anthea was immune, who would have gone home?
Okay.
So who had the next most amount of votes is the question, I suppose.
Because it wasn't a straight 4-3, it was a 4-2-1. I believe the 2 was on Ed.
That is correct. Eden put 1 on Todd as well. What a fascinating outcome that would have been if Ed went to the swamp of... He probably would have won his way back, let's be real.
He would have,
but,
absolutely.
Like,
You don't get the golden retriever of the season.
Yeah. No, but Jules has won. She's finally on the board for this season.
I won last week.
Did you? Okay, so she's on the board twice now. I forgot that. Sorry. But thank you, Brad, for coming on. Just like in Canberra 1, you were just that little bit short, but I'm sure you're still very pleased with your performance.
That's okay. I got the Canberra 1 question right, so I can't complain. That's all. That's all. That's all I need to do.
I always make it harder for the guest season, and I think that was a tricky question. Like you weren't even there.
I was on that tribe, so it's remarkable I remember that. So.
Yeah. No, you weren't on that tribe, so very well done. Well done, Brad. Thanks for being on. We appreciate it.
No, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers. All right. Bringing back the banner.
I won't complain about being labelled as like the losing to or being tied with Greg for the orca, because that was way worse.
What was way worse? Oh, the Ghost Island.
The way you just hyped up Brad.
That's not way worse. I would kill to have lost by 1 vote. On a Ghost Island scenario. That's as close as you can come to winning without winning.
Yeah, see, at least I tied for 2nd place. That's worse.
There's nothing shameful in what Brad did in Canberra 1. That's basically winning.
I know, but you just rubbed salt in that wound.
Going out where we all go out. Anyway, Brad was a good player too. All right, so we're going to finish this show and now talk about our favourite things. Firstly, what is going to happen next week? Danny, you seem keen to go there. So if it's the blue tribe, Danny, there's apparently going to be a double tribal. Is that in the next week on?
I haven't watched next week on, but Canberra do love a double.
Well, Eden has set up the wiki to show a double tribal, so I assume there's a double tribal. So, Danny, if you're going to do the blue tribe, what's going to happen there? Who's going to go? You're muted. You're still muted.
I saw what that word was.
Yeah. Fuck is what the word was, in case anybody didn't recognize that with my mouth. Here we go. Next on, I'll lose to both tribes going to tribal. I think that Anthea's idol hunting puts her in danger, but I think ultimately Natalie goes home.
Natalie. Okay, not even one of the OG Reds.
I would have felt Mark.
She's shot her shot.
That's what I think.
Jules, what's going to happen over on the red tribe?
I think... I don't know. I mean, they split votes on Mushy. How much of a valuable asset is she? I think if they sense the merger's coming, maybe they want to get rid of Maddie. I think Bree is really ready to vote Maddie out.
You think they could save Mushy here?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Bree is not a fan of Maddie, and she wants her gone.
And Aston's wanting to play. He's waiting for the turn. He wants to flip on people. He's ready to make moves. And if he can get one of the people that he doesn't want to merge now, he'll absolutely keep Mushy around.
I disagree with both of you. I think it's going to be a boring tribal where Mark and Mushy.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking what we would like to see happen, but it could very well go that way.
All right, well, if it's double tribal, then we have to assume individual immunity. So let's say that Mushy and Mark win immunity.
I don't think Mushy's winning immunity. Mark could definitely win immunity. He's got skills. He's got various like physical skills.
Mushy might win if she remembers all her puzzle pieces.
Yeah. All right. So, and the most important thing, of course, is who is the Brommy of this week? A chance to be nominated for a chance to be part of the Congress, to be the Orca of the season. The only way in is to be nominated on a weekly basis. Presently, Anthea was nominated, and then we nominated Ben 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to say that, Ben's talking during the challenge has to be up there for an Orca moment. But I think it'd be good to get a new buddy in. Dani, who would you like to nominate?
This is a very non-Orca episode. I don't
Orca-lite.
know. It's very Orca-lite. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'll nominate Aston for just talking
Aston?
about how good a spot he's in. I feel like he's getting ready to make a move just for the sake of making a move. And I also think that we need to just have Aston nominated.
Aston will get nominated soon enough. We can't nominate Aston for talking about doing something he hasn't done yet.
But he's talking about how good a spot he's in. Like there's the propensity for narcissism.
I think Bree's sort of the body of work is getting there. I think maybe we should consider Natalie. I based on what you guys were talking about earlier with the way she was behaving on Blue. In people's face, what are you doing? Are you a group? Was that her?
No, that's Anthea. I was about to say. I was like, I think Anthea needs to vote again. I think Anthea is the most. Yeah.
So all right. So 4 episodes in, we only have 2 possible Orcas of the season.
People, you need to Orca your shit up.
I think Anthea. You down with that?
I'm down with Anthea.
Yeah, let's do Anthea.
Yeah, Anthea.
I do think we'll get Bree and Aston nominated.
They're coming. Their time is coming. I can feel it.
They're both Orca.
They're just on the
edge. If Bree gets voted out, I'm just going to nominate her in the episode she gets voted out because the body of work she's giving us is Orca. There's just not been anything.
Being regularly in the comments also helps. Just going to put that out there.
We do love you.
Yeah. So certainly there will be a focus there, but I feel based on the content tonight, we sort of have to go another.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with you. So tomorrow night we've got another episode of Canberra Survivor. Then tune in Monday where I'll be back with Loz and Josh and Mark and some of the other Orcas as we break down all the action from Sydney Survivor episode 2 that aired yesterday. And then we will be back at our usual slot on Wednesday next week for our Canberra Survivor coverage. So keep that in mind.
I'm very excited for your Sydney coverage. I'm very excited to see what you think about this episode.
It's got opinions.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. That's why I can't wait.
Bree was robbed. Like she's getting there.
I believe her time is coming.
Will was never getting a nomination. He would have to change his entire personality.
Bless him.
Thank you to Jasmine that came on and was interviewed. Lovely to have her. Thank you to Brad who came on and took on Jules. Thank you, of course, to my co-hosts here, Dani and Jules. Thank you to everybody in the comments. You know how much we love you. Thank you to everyone who listens after the fact. We know you listen. We just love you a little bit less because you're not here live, like a smaller heart. So if you want to be here live in the action, I appreciate Thursday's a bad day. You're probably all watching 50. But we'll be back on Wednesday next week. And now all the other survivors are gone. So we want to see you live on our screens, in our comments.
And if you want to take me on in TWIOLSH, please reach out.
Yeah, anyone's free. Canberra alumni preferred, but anyone is welcome. Let's get Greg on there as suggested. We will see you next week. And until then, we shall dance.